I'm the house steward here at Townend. Townend's a farmer's cottage and it was owned by the Browne family, and they lived here for 12 generations and they were sheep farmers. Now, the wedding dress that we're here to talk about today belonged to a lady called Lucy Walker. She was born in 1809 and she married in 1832, and she was quite significant to us here at Townend. You've got that social history, but also she took over the running of the farm. She was married for 16 years, but her husband died and she had to take up the running because George was only 12 years old when his father died.
The dress has been in the house for a long time, and I think it's always been quite an emotive part of the visit to Townend. It's quite an emotive object, a tiny little person, a tiny little dress, and you can almost imagine that living person inside it. It's like almost the shadow of the person that inhabited it. But we've come to a point in time where it becomes even more emotive, because we realise the dress is falling apart and it's coming to the end of its lifespan, rather like a real person.
The dress has been on display for certainly since the early 80s, when it last had some major conservation treatment. The treatment back then was undertaken following the sort of best guidelines at the time, and an adhesive treatment was used which helped to preserve the very fragile silk that the dress is made from. However, over these years, all the agents of deterioration have been acting and the dress has deteriorated.
The main problem with the dress is the old adhesive treatment is starting to fail. Well, so what we were trying to do is try and reattach that adhesive support to the old silk. But unfortunately, we did some tests with a heated spatula and trying to reattach that support fabric, and unfortunately that didn't work. Tried solvent activation to try and get some extra support on the arms. And today we've been taking thread counts of the lining fabric and the silk outer fabric, but overall we've created a case cover so that it can be protected from the environment when it's out on display. And then we're taking detailed measurements of the whole of the dress, including the bodice, the skirt, the arms, trying to work out how the garment was originally constructed.
How much longer can we display this dress for? Within the National Trust we try and keep our objects forever for everyone, but there's always a balance between conservation and access. So the more this dress is on display, unfortunately the more it's going to deteriorate, and we have to have try and get a balance there.